Our heroes are master battle planners. They have the power of a hot mage and a stick on their side. Prepare to 1v1 scary social interactions on this week's episode of Mercenaries in Retrograde.
Push us in, folks at home. Celeste smells like Mountain Dew.
No, don't put that in the podcast.
Put it on the Tumblr. Put it on the Tumblr.
That's going in the podcast.
Don't Nico online.
Don't put it in the podcast.
That's going straight into the podcast.
What if she smells like slightly overbaked brownies instead?
I thought you were gonna say slightly
See,
overbaked
that's really
Mountain Dew.
cute.
Yeah, like just brownie crisps.
I think Simmon smells like Mountain Dew.
Simmon does
Yeah,
smell like
he
Mountain
does.
Dew.
Simmon smells like Mountain Dew. And the gummy worms that have way too much of like the sour crystals on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Gummies? What do you mean way too much? That's the perfect amount.
I do need to say
yes.
really quick, Finn, I now really, really need a candle that smells like slightly burnt brownies because that is gonna live in my head forever as the Celeste smell. That like when people make like candles inspired by fictional characters, I'm like that would be hers. That's what it would be. And now I need someone who knows how to make smells to make that. If you know how to make smells, please contact me. Find me on Instagram or Twitter. Anywhere that I am, find me and please make me a burnt brownie candle. I'll pay you money.
We will do a little bit of time skip here to a little bit after that event, just so it's not jarring to get back into that conversation. Forthright, and so you all, this is a little bit after, it's the day after the tear that happened in the fourth circle of hell, and you all are in Celeste's father's office with the containment team that you guys had just met on battlefield yesterday. Clarice has been taking most of the charge of talking to Astaroth about what has been happening because she is the most informed of the magical machinations behind the plane. But Ixie and Abyss are also present during that. But now she has brought all of you in to discuss this more plainly and together, just since you all are planning to go to the ball together as sort of a united front of people who have experienced this firsthand. So most of the stuff that she has told you is basically that from like just off base before this meeting between all of you is that the tear itself, it seems to be a lack of energies. So the portal that she has put over it is kind of like it's a whole like contraption that is an anti-magic field that cuts off the magic from hell from this portal so that the tear and portal thing cannot rip further by taking more magic in. They don't know how long it'll last, and they don't know how much they have to maintain it because it's still relatively new technology that they just started out. But that's kind of the situation that you're in. As you guys are kind of like sitting with your father, Celeste, Clarice has taken out like a few like one of those like whiteboards that like you can like flip, but it's like a projection sort of, and she has like a little light pen that she can just write in the air, and it's like on that projection whiteboard thing. And she has like drawn like little doodles of everybody on the board and like the battlefield of what had commenced yesterday.
I love her.
Yeah, and you see like she has like specifically drawn out things that were important. So like she has like a very not very detailed picture of Celeste, but like zoomed in detail of her holding the little star charm that she threw into the portal that helped pause it to pause its expansion. And like Algernon's like a stick figure, but the bow is very detailed.
I love
Like,
this.
Like she's very focused on specific things.
This
here.
is beautiful.
Priorities.
Yeah, of course. So she just kind of starts explaining her theories as to what was happening here. So she like kind of gestures to this board as all of you are sitting here once she has finished drawing it. And she's like, so this is the first time we have really encountered the tear in action. Most of the times it's post the tear. So this is the first time we've seen like anything to prevent the tear from happening, if that makes sense. And you all did wonderfully. I mean, I wouldn't have thought of throwing celestial magic at it, but you know, you're smart. I'm not. Whatever. And she does like a little laugh because she is very smart. She thought that was funny. And she pulls out like a file from like her like she has like a little book holster on her side, but specifically for like files. So it's less of a book holster and more of like what are those specific folders for like paperwork? Are they just folders?
Oh.
Manila
Like a,
folders?
No, like the accordion
An
folders.
envelope.
Oh, it's an
not
accordion
envelope.
Yes, accordion folder. And she like pulls out like her notes, which are in there because she's a fucking nerd. And so she kind of like pulls this out and like puts it up against the whiteboard, and like it kind of like copies itself on there, so it's easier for all of you to read. And it's a bunch of notes that she has taken about the nature of the tear in hell. And she like kind of like draws a little diagram to kind of explain what the words mean. And she's like, so in basic terms, we believe that this instability had begun in Celestia. So when they start to have their own tears, it kind of hole punches through both of our planes at once, where ours is much quicker and has a lot more of an impact, whereas Celestia's kind of, there's more of a growing, you can tell it's like no, we're more like an earthquake. They're more like a hurricane, if that makes sense. Like they can track that it's coming, whereas we're kind of like fucked and it'll just happen to us. And we can gauge how bad it is afterwards and while it's happening, but we cannot always tell where it's going to happen with as much accuracy.
Oh.
Yes.
Not great.
But
Do they?
yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Do
There
they
you go.
happen at the same time? Typically.
Yes, in the sense that they both become nothing at the same time. There's more of a build in Celestia about where it's going to happen, how big it's going to be, but it's almost like it's starting to thin out the plane in that area, and then once it's thin enough, it punches through both.
Ooh.
Why haven't we? I mean, could we set up some kind of communication between the two planes so that they can, let us know when this is going to happen and we can be prepared to stop it?
Yes, so that's actually part of the ball that we will be attending.
Right.
There will be emissaries from Celestia there. It's just been quite hard between all of the politics of this all, but it's a crisis for both of us. Honestly, a little bit more for Celestia than us, if that makes sense. Specifically because the way that Celestia is built is much different than the way that Hell is built. We are sister planes, but we do have a lot of differences. Hell is not an embodiment of each of the Lord's power. The Lords more help maintain Hell, and Hell is its own entity. In Celestia, the domains of each god is both powered by Celestia and the god itself. So if things happen to the god, things happen to Celestia. If things happen to Celestia, things happen to the gods. So they have been a lot more afraid to reach out to us since we experience a surge of celestial power. They experience a surge of hellish power. So it's hard to convince them that we are not trying to kill them.
Right.
I see.
Yes. But through your, I don't want to say experiment, because it wasn't really a test of a hypothesis, you just kind of did it. But from your quick thinking, I think that's a good way to put it. From your quick thinking, we have kind of gotten the idea that if you put the energy that's coming through, it's able to at least slightly repair. We don't know what this did to the other side yet. We don't know what happened to Celestial when you put the energy in. My best hypothesis is that maybe it went back to that thinness, or at the very least, it's just a small crack as opposed to a big hole like it usually is. But that's something we can ask them when they come and visit. So that's pretty much the general magics behind it. I have a theory about the creatures and the void that is appearing. I don't know if it's true. We can't really test it because it's not very safe to touch as far as we're concerned. Something of interest is that the creatures that emerge, they don't have any planar energies attached to them when they come out. They aren't celestial, they aren't hellish, they aren't even, I don't know, the astral plane. It's nothing. It's an emptiness, which is very concerning, which is why I suppose they are growing. I believe personally that this is almost like, it's almost like the matter that exists before anything else exists. It's like the primordial soup of the worlds
Oh.
that has just opened up in the middle of these planes. And so it's consuming the things around it to try and acclimate itself. But in doing that, it's destroying our plane.
Mhm.
I don't know what to do about that, but that is my theory. It's also important to note that these creatures that emerge, they don't really have any malice or rage. It seems like they're just trying to consume. They're just trying to take up information about what's around them, and thus it leads to it attacking and destroying things because it's trying to consume it into itself.
The babies.
They're hungry.
It's like the hungry caterpillar.
That's my favorite childhood book.
Oh, good, that one's not a Mythalon thing. You know what to do.
No, I know that one, yeah.
I guess, but I guess it would be like a caterpillar in the sense that once it consumes everything, it might turn into a cocoon and become a beautiful new existence.
Yeah, but we don't want that. That sounds bad.
I know that would mean the end end of hell, and subsequently the end of the entire plane of Earth,
Yeah.
and
so
thus
Yeah.
the destruction of
don't.
all life forms.
Yeah.
So that's the fun information I have for all of you.
Fantastic. That's greatly appreciated.
I don't know how to stop it. That's something that I don't have the answer for. That's something that I think there's a third player in this game that we are not aware of yet.
I look at Simmon.
I look at Celeste and Algernon.
We're all sitting there quietly for just a moment, looking at Simmon.
Clary
Blink,
turns to like
blink.
Ixie and is like, why are they all doing that? Do you know why?
I don't know. Maybe we should also stare. And they stare with big eyes at Simmon.
Hi there. So,
Hi.
hi.
Do you eat plain soup?
I don't eat plain soup.
Do you know
However,
someone who
Plain
does?
soup, put some spices in it.
Algernon,
No.
stop talking. We know someone that might someday eat plain soup. So there's this little guy back home.
I would not call him little.
And yeah, I mean, well, no, he's how tall? How tall is Irvin? Is he not little? I'm imagining him little. Are we not thinking about Irvin? I was thinking about Irvin.
That's crazy. I mean, if you're thinking about Irvin.
I was thinking
Are we?
about the plane that the shadow fell.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking at you because of the Shadowfell, bud.
Ah.
You know,
well,
fucking prophet of the Shadowfell or whatever the fuck you are.
And
The
Simmons just
savior?
like, yeah, this is about Irvin. He's a freak in the prophecy.
Of course.
Anyway, go on, talk about Irvin. I think that's really funny.
Yeah, so we know this guy, and he was made as a prophet of the mother, and he's in this prophecy that we know of. Well, hold on, let me review the prophecy. I think it says bad things about him.
Simmons.
I mean, Simmon, darling, that's not what I meant.
Oh,
But-
Simmons.
unsavable. He's unsavable. So that's where my thought went, because he's weird and fucked up.
Yes, no, but you have a plane.
You have a potent
Oh,
connection
yeah!
to the Shadowfell.
I do have a connection to the Shadowfell, and the Shadowfell is a small child.
What? What does that mean? What do you
I'm
mean?
not
You have a
following.
child?
Oh no, I don't. Not my child. I didn't make no children. Well, so you are y'all familiar with the Shadowfell? We're familiar with the
Yes.
Shadowfell. All right,
Yes.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So we was all trapped inside of it, and in order to get out of it, there was also we had a guy with us. We were in there to get one of our guys. But anyways, in order to get out of there, I made a deal with the Shadowfell, and yeah, and now I'm just kind of little warlock of the Shadowfell. There's a bunch of people that have this weird Shadowfell icky sickness, and they believe that I'm like a prophet that's gonna save them.
Aries puts her hand up. Nice story. How the fuck is this relevant?
I don't know. They asked them.
I don't know.
I mean, if we're talking about a third player in the planar game,
Yes, that's kind of what I was thinking as
Okay.
well. It's
up and coming
What
batter
is-
is.
What is the Shadowfell doing? Because the only thing I got from this is that we have a warlock of the Shadowfell. Is there more to this story?
Yeah, there is more to the story. The more to the story is that the Shadowfell's just kind of been chunked off into smithereens, and the smithereens are all strewn about in the material plane. And in trying to like get those pieces back, it's also sucking up parts of the material plane.
Interesting. That seems relevant. Not necessarily. I mean, obviously, there's a bit of a consuming happening for both. Not necessarily the same thing, because this is less of a Shadowfell thing and more of a primordial soup thing. But
We have theories. I look to the extra dimensional being that is Mac.
I don't
Do
think
we
you
know
guys figured that out.
100%? Do we
No.
know? Okay. So yeah, we got theories. Something to do with back in the material plane, there was this organization known as the Heart, and they were responsible for keeping all the planet energies in order. And then some time ago, they stopped doing that. And that seems to be like the start of everything going all wonko.
Okay. And you didn't tell her about the Fae shit either, right? You just told your dad,
Right.
right? Yeah, just told Celeste's dad. So she doesn't know about that. All right. So the heart isn't regulating anymore. So some sort of imbalance happened. Either to do with Shadowfell, maybe Feywild.
Oh.
about that.
Oh.
I look at Algernon.
I also look at Algernon.
So, a lot has happened with the Feywild specifically,
As is the Feywilds want to do.
and that kind of goes into fucked up celestial plane.
Mhm.
So, gotta give a little bit of context to why this happened. I was adopted by
Okay,
the
hold
goddess
on.
Farron and her husband.
She puts her hand
and-
up again. Dia, honestly, don't give a shit about your backstory. Please just tell me what the instability is.
Yeah, I gave a demigod feather to a Fey, and then it got all fucked up.
So you
Yeah, that'll
gave the
do.
planes cancer.
But it isn't my fault.
It
I was
kind of
given
is.
those beans.
Alright, so a Fae has a very powerful.
We killed that Fey.
We did do that.
Fae is dead. Alright, well, I guess in conjunction with what you just told me about the heart no longer being in function, my best guess is that something happened with that feather and that Fae that started. Are you familiar with the butterfly effect?
Yes.
Definitely.
Sort of that situation in which something started there. Don't really know, don't really care. Something started. Because the heart is not there to regulate the energies, that small blip has caused
Catastrophic?
Thank you. Catastrophic effects on our plane subsequently, if that makes sense.
Yes. I mean it. Yes, it does make sense. I'm sorry. My brain turned off. Halfway through that sentence. I'm not gonna lie.
You're so valid.
I thought I had something to say.
Don't have anything to say.
Guys, this is a lesson about sometimes in D&D.
You don't have anything to say.
Sure.
I don't have anything to say. I
It
started
was
talking
one of
like I
those
had something to
situations
say.
in which you thought if you
I
talked
didn't
long
have
enough,
anything to say.
things would appear.
I
That's
would
okay.
and they didn't.
Of
So
course.
just ignore me.
Um,
Anyway, please continue.
All right. You see, like, she actually, like, kind of flips the board around and is just, like, writing her own, like... Simmon, you have your theory board. She's making her own theory board. It's a lot more organized than your nightmare.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, that's okay. Most things are.
And you see as she, like, kind of, like, makes a bunch of, like... She just writes a bunch of shit on this whiteboard. Kind of in her own world. She's kind of talking to herself. Ixie, you're used to this. She does this shit often. She just gets lost in the sauce and she'll come back.
Oh yeah.
And
Mhm.
as she's like doing, she's actually really fast with writing, which before she was kind of taking her time with her little drawings and like having fun with it. And now she's just fucking going. You see, she actually takes out a secondary pen and starts writing with both hands. And after like a good like 5 minutes of just silence and the sound of writing, she like puts her hands down and like nods at this board and then kind of moves out of the way so that you guys can see it a little bit better. And
I've been having a staring contest with Dixie.
Oh no, you haven't. Ixie has been picking lint off of the office chair and swishing their tail. But if you'd like to have a staring contest with their head or the little eyeball charm on their ponytail, you can
as you
do
start
that.
to have the staring contest with the
I
back
love
of
this
Ixie's
creature.
head, Abyss is like right behind Ixie, just staring at you. He'll have a staring contest with you. Do you want to roll for it?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'll roll for staring contest. Yeah.
Yeah. I like this 3-way staring contest where one of the participants doesn't participate.
No.
7.
You might have disadvantage actually, Mac, because Ixie is smacking Abyss with their tail. Just casually. As you do.
Hot rolls over here. I got a 2 and a 1.
Yeah!
Oh no.
He's like staring at you, and then he just keeps glancing down at every time the tail bumps against his shin, he looks at it
Mm.
and then back at you.
I'm just so good at
Yeah,
this game.
you're so good at this game. Even though you're distracted by the movement of the tail, you always break after Abyss breaks, so it doesn't matter. So he kind of finishes her little concept board and steps back from it, and it's like, so I don't mean to overstep, but I've got some ideas, and I'd love for you to have them, since you will probably be going back to the material plane. Yes.
Yes, please.
He's really good at
So-
ideas.
I am very good at ideas, thank you. It seems like the biggest issue that has happened is that the heart is gone,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know why. I would investigate that.
We're working on it. There's government corruption and a civil war kind of standing in our way, but we're working on it.
Could you put it back?
But
The harder.
I was thinking of that.
No, the heart.
Yeah.
The thing that
Yeah.
regulated that was gone.
Mhm.
That's like
The heart's
if
like
you.
a people,
Yeah.
not like an object.
Oh, you said you
can
have
put
a
an
little
orb-
guy. Put the little guy there.
Little guy's got a lot of trauma, but we'll add that to the list of things. I was thinking to myself right now that it would be a good idea to maybe if we wanted to try to be the heart.
You could get volunteers.
Yeah. We absolutely, yeah.
Reform the heart.
I think that's a wonderful thing to start looking into. I would also... You said you have a prophecy.
Yeah.
Yes.
What else is on this prophecy?
I know. So, of course, the standard Hell and Celeste are gonna collapse into each other. The city of Mythalon, which is floating in mountains in the material plane, it's gonna go crashing into the sea. Just really, really sort of your standard stuff. Want me to just read it out for you?
No, that's
All
all right. You see, her ears kind of perk up when you start talking about Mythalon. She's like, "Do you, by chance, have a map of the prime material plane on you?"
Good.
If we
do.
don't, I'm sure there are books here that have it, right, Max?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I can find you one.
Wonderful. If you can find one that has all of the ley lines, that would be perfect.
Of course, and I'm sure there's probably one in this office, honestly.
Oh yeah. If not, it's right when you leave your dad's office into the library because it's connected. It's on that level.
Yeah.
It's easy
I'll
to find.
real quick I'll find that. I'll try and look in here while we're talking and see if I can find something. And if not, I'll grab one later from the library or when we're done here.
Hold on. I Henry forgot what leyline Mythalon is on, but I know Simmon knows. Let me find the map.
I can tell you, it's not on. It's
Oh,
not
it's
written on
not.
the map.
Never mind.
It's on the elemental planes.
Well, Mythalon's on the elemental plane leyline.
Interesting. So, with that information, I wouldn't be surprised if all of this instability, this planar instability, would be the cause of Mythalon's fall.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Considering it's on the elemental plane. Now, the question here is whether or not Mythalon is floating because it has high connections to the plane of air, or if the ley line perhaps will tear open the continent. That's something just to ponder. Yes. Another, I guess, if you cannot reform the heart, trying to figure out how to get stuff in the. You might have to go to the Fey.
Crap.
Ah, shit.
Unfortunately, if that's where the instability started, trying to fix anything in either here or Celestia will just be putting a band-aid on a bullet wound.
Ah, poo.
Did you keep any trophies from your target? The hunted one? The Fae?
Can we get... You
I
had
have
blood.
Some of its blood. Yes, I think I've given some of it to my father, but
I
think
thought
I do have some left.
you also gave
That could
some
be
to what's their
Or I don't
name?
remember who I gave it to. I gave somebody some blood.
Potion
but
You
boy.
gave
Yeah.
you
You gave
gave
it to
yeah,
Finch.
you gave
Barrow.
Finch.
I
Finch.
think you might have given.
Yeah, you gave
Yeah,
Finch.
it's Finch. I think you might have also given one to your father,
Mhm.
but you still have leftover.
Yeah, so I do have some of its blood, if that's helpful.
Well, sometimes I track by smell, so if you could track by blood, maybe you could find where the Fae went.
And you tracked
that's
my
smart.
blood, Celeste?
Buttress.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure you
maybe.
can.
You-
I remember
Up
you
the
saying
air.
that if you have something's blood, you can find it.
Oh yeah, I have sanguine recall, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I can. I'm not sure I've ever really done it before, but I know how to, theoretically.
That would be helpful if you do end up going to the Feywild.
Mhm.
Yes. Another thing, you said that the Shadowfell is chunked off. I would also look into why that chunkage occurred. I know you're saying stuff about the heart and whatnot, but it seemed the way you're describing it, at least, seems like there's people using the Shadowfell's energies and removing them.
Yeah,
Is
there
that
was like
correct?
these underground bases in Renaissance, not Riverside. Renaissance. Well, they're just sucking up energies and making fucked up crystal things.
Terrifying. Wonderful.
Oh yeah.
That's good to know. Did they take up other energies as well?
Yes. Here.
Are you giving us something?
No, I mean they took hell energy too.
Oh, did they take Celestial?
No.
I need everyone at home to know that Mac is playing charades to remind Henry of the things we already know. And
We've been doing this game for 2 years.
It's been 2 years, and it's been a minute since we've been able to play. But this is
The
fucking
moon?
hilarious.
This is the best thing. Gay?
I could see that, and I don't know what the hell just happened. What? All I saw was gay Riz.
Yeah, so gay limp Riz.
Fairies, the
Fairy.
Feywild.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So now that I don't have to do charades anymore and I'm done with this bit, the crystals that you found had a combined energy of the Shadowfell, which was the most composited, and then a little bit of the Feywild and a little bit of Hell.
Fantastic. That's what I thought. It just wasn't 100%. Yeah, so that was mostly Shadowfell, also some Hell and Feywild.
All right. Okay.
Hypothesis includes that they were trying to make some sort of weird new plane or play God and make the crystals that could make things in life.
Could that make soup?
That would.
Could it make soup?
Yes, primordial soup.
Oh, maybe.
That would then eat more of where it came from, like hell.
You know what? There is so we broke into the government and we did find one of those crystals locked in a big box. So maybe it we had to chain it up so it wouldn't
not
make
the
soup.
cause directly of the soup. It definitely caused at least added to the instability. Because the Feywild and the Shadowfell have a similar relationship as we do with Celestia, so I wouldn't be surprised if weird things happening to the Feywild would also cause weird things to happen to the Shadowfell, which would cause weird things to happen on your plane.
Like a big old what's the snake?
Ouroboros?
That.
All right, this was great brainstorming. Does anyone have any other comments on this note?
Not right now. I think I mean, I suppose the next thing we need to do is talk to Celestia, and we have a plan for that, so
Yes.
this is where we leave off for today.
All right, that sounds great.
Great
I'm
session,
going
gang.
To take... I am going to take my boys, and we're gonna go do stuff elsewhere because I think your father wants to talk to you. And then she just leaves.
What?
Before we leave, Ixie returns to Simmon and places a stick in his hands.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love it.
Is there,
I love them
Is there
so
anything
much.
special?
You
about
should
the stick?
use this
Oh.
to fix things.
Okay.
You can
yeah,
just go and they bonk their head with the stick, and then you'll think.
Oh, thank you.
And then
Sticks
you'll
it behind his ear.
think.
Like when you said that man was the problem and not the whole plane. Just go. Bonk.
Yeah, I will keep that in mind. Thank you very
Mhm.
much. I'm sure this will be very helpful.
You're welcome. And they turn around and their tail smacks the shit out of your shin. So sorry, little guy. The non-disabled shin, to be clear. And then they skitter out.
Oh my god, I love them so much.
Simmon's looking at his
Yeah,
stick and then-
your dad is kind of like, oh, okay, I was gonna, all right, this is fine.
You were gonna give me a stick to bonk myself with?
No, I wasn't gonna. I was gonna do this a little less. She made it sound a lot worse than it is. I'll just start with that. I don't want you guys. You're not in trouble. This isn't some sort of big meeting. He kind of turns more towards you, Celeste. Unfortunately, due to the tear in our plane, I do not think either of us will be able to attend the ball.
That's fine. No, of course. I know everything I'm supposed to say and do, and no, yes, that's fine. I completely understand.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I can do it.
You're gonna. I know you can. You're gonna do great.
Okay. Okay.
You all are free to go if you wish. Actually, he actually takes out a piece of paper, and it's like, I wrote down the generalized guidelines of the goals that the ball is trying to, at least what I assume it's trying to, accomplish, so that you have a little bit of a guideline, so you're not lost and scared. And he it's really nice, beautiful handwriting.
My dad made me a
Like-
sheet.
Oh.
Yeah, and it says the three main goals of the ball is, one, the social game of the ball, which is to kind of, this ball is being held because people are scared and they need stability.
Mhm.
So part of this is calming the fears of the nobility of hell, so that they can calm the fears of the rest of hell.
Mhm.
So this is, the social game is kind of to show a united front with the rest of the lords and with the king of hell and also Celestia as well, to kind of show, we are working on this problem, you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Then, of course, the second part is the political game, which is to gain the trust of Celestia, as well as helping the rest of hell see that Celestia is not an enemy in this and that we are working together.
Mhm.
And then the third goal is the more specific thing, when you guys will have a one-on-one with all the lords and the king, to discuss plans going forward on how to actually deal with this problem.
Mhm.
And there's a few little notes here and there, on the social game, it's don't forget to smile. If you step on someone's feet, just apologize. It's no big deal.
Does it say if you roll over someone's feet?
Well, no, because people will just move out of the way from Celeste. This is more for dancing.
I thought this was a Celeste specific list.
Oh no, this is for all of you
Okay.
guys. And on Simmon specifically, there's like actually like the counts on how to do the dance
The
under the
counts.
social game because he was struggling in practice. And then he also on both Simmon and Algernon's is like that like breath count thing that you do so that you don't have a panic. And there's like on Celeste, on yours he put like a bunch of little hearts near the bottom of it. Yeah. And he hands them to you guys before you leave.
Thank you.
Thank you so kindly.
Thanks.
Of course, I would love for everything to go smoothly and well, and as much as I don't want you all to leave, I do think you have better places to be, so I would hate to keep you here longer than you need to be.
I promise I'm gonna do this.
I believe in you. And he'll give you a little forehead kiss.
Ah.
And then he'll stand and actually head into the library. He'll like take the book that you got out and put it back where you got it from. Leaving you all to yourselves in this little room.
You okay, Celeste?
Yeah, why wouldn't I be? God, Algernon, I'm so stressed. I don't want to do this all by myself.
Well, you won't be by yourself.
I was gonna say
you
you're
got
not by yourself.
I know. It's just a big change, and I've never gone by myself before. One or both of my fathers has always been with me, so you know it's new and but it's fine.
Look at how much you've done, like by yourself. You are an amazing person, Celeste. You have nothing to be worried about because you are an amazing, wonderful, brilliant person all on your own.
Celeste is just thinking back through all the times she's really fucked up and just like roll. Celeste is thinking back through every natural one I personally have ever rolled. Like, well, thank you, Simmons.
Just confidence.
Algernon is gonna take his cheat sheet, slide it into Celeste's hands, and point at the breathing techniques.
You want to copy that down? I got you a pen. Answer a pen.
I think you need this one more than me.
No, trust me, I know it very well. And then I do the little breathe. It's like
I was gonna say then use it.
Like breathe in for I think it's like breathe in for
in for 5, hold for 7, out for 8.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah, she does
or
a couple
in
of
for
those.
4, hold for 5, out for 4. It's
Some
it
kind of
depends.
numbers.
Yeah, I think Luna is just staring at the cheat sheet.
Oh, Luna.
She's trying to memorize it.
She's gonna do great.
She's kind of disconnected from this
She's
situation
the one I'm
right now.
least
She's like
worried about out of all of them.
she's honed in. She's like, I will do this.
Yeah.
Aye, sir. Yeah.
Oh, she's perfect.
And as this like little scene wraps up, we'll go over to the little group with Ixie. You guys share a room. It has beds for all of you, but you do a lot of your research together, so you just stayed in one room. And Clarice kind of just like flops on the bed, on her bed when she gets back, and she's like, "Do you think the world's gonna end?"
Have we picked up any smooth rocks along the way here? Or have we had access to any?
Probably.
Okay. In that case, Ixie will hop up onto his bed and just silently put a rock in his palm.
In Clarice's palm?
Yes.
Yeah. He just takes it and he's like, I think they can do it.
Have a stick.
Have a stick?
They have a stick.
The stick will help?
I don't know, but it will make them think it will, and then they'll do it.
You're smart.
I have not been told that, but I believe it in my soul. Thank you.
I think he just reaches up and just like ruffles your mess of a hair a little bit.
They cackle. They do it too. It is now distressing to look at.
When it cackles?
Oh yeah. It has some really janky teeth. And its mouth is just a little too wide. Yeah. There's one tooth like in a second row in the back on the lower level. And it's just sticking straight up.
I'm obsessed with them. Yeah, I think she'll just take the rock and just like put it in between both her palms and just kind of like rub them together.
Good.
And she'll like sit up on the bed, no longer flopped. Yeah. Do you? Never mind. Do you think that they'll be able to, at the very least, stop the hole punching?
I don't know. I think if the planes are pizza dough, then yes. You're giving me the weird look. It's not
I need
crazy.
you to elaborate what that means.
So if you roll pizza too thin, it goes and it tears. But then if you put more back, it's okay. So if we do that, maybe they can stop the pizza tearing. Because they threw Celestial at it and it slowed down. So maybe if we can do that on both sides, we can fix the problem. Or we can have them hunt down the dead Fae and figure out what the pink one was doing and all the problems that he caused and just fix those. And that would probably help too.
I agree. I think that'll work. When this whole thing is over, we all gotta go out for drinks or something. I'm so tired of world-ending bullshit.
I can take you to my pond.
Your pond?
My pond. We can have fish.
Will you catch them?
Yes, of course.
Wonderful.
I can show you how to catch them with your claws.
Yeah, she usually has them kind of retract it, and she kind of like just lets them go out a little bit.
Yeah, Ixie does flexes back at her.
Yeah, you actually see like in the corner, this is the usual, Abyss has already turned into a cat and is just chilling in like the corner of the room. Just vibing, listening to you guys. Yeah, and with that little scene, we'll pull back and we'll time skip to the ball.
Holy shit!